Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Kirsten. Just like every other night, my mom assigned me to trash duty. I went outside and came face to face with a pit bull. It was growling and staring at me. Right at that moment, a man yelled, "Don't move! He got out of his leash! He might attack you!" I couldn't move because I was already paralyzed with fear. The man said, "I'll distract him. Walk backwards and get away. Don't run." Those 10 seconds felt like 10 years. First, I walked slowly like the guy said, but then I had to get going. I turned around and ran home as fast as I could. I hated taking out the trash because things like this happened to me all the time. Just last week, I almost got hit by a drunk driver. I walked into the living room, trying to catch my breath. My mom and my brother Sean were playing a board game and having a blast. "Mom, I almost got attacked by a pit bull. I was barely able to get away. Why am I the only one taking out the trash? Sean should also do it once in a while," I said. Mom was upset because I interrupted their game. "You're just like your dad, complaining all the time," Sean asked with a smirk on his face. "Mommy, did my dad ever complain?" Mom replied, "Your dad was a perfect man. That's why I left Kirsten's dad for him. But then your dad left me." And she laughed. My mom married twice and got divorced both times. With her first husband, she had me, and with her second, she had Sean. So my brother and I share our mom, but we have different dads. My mom loves my brother more than she loves me and doesn't hide it. I'm kind of like the maid of the house. She always wants me to do stuff for her. Sean, on the other hand, enjoys being mom's favorite. One night, my dad called. He sounded awful. "Honey, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Unfortunately, we lost your grandpa. His body is being transported on a plane. There's something we need to go over before the funeral. Your grandpa's will is going to be presented. I talked to your mom. She's going to bring you to the lawyer's office," he said. My grandpa lived in South Africa, so I couldn't see much of him, but we talked on the phone all the time. He was my confidant. He was the one I called when my mom upset me. He would calm me down with his kind words. "Come, live here with me," he'd say. I'd refuse his offer and say, "I know she's a good person. I love her, even though she doesn't love me." I cried until morning thinking about my grandpa. As Mom took me to the lawyer's office, she said, "Sean has a soccer game today. Couldn't this guy have died another day?" "Mom, he's my grandpa and your ex-father-in-law. Have some respect," I grumbled. Mom snapped. "Why? He didn't like me. I didn't like him. I even kicked him out of the house once." When we got to the office, my dad was waiting for us there. Mom said, "This is a waste of time. What will? He had nothing to give his family." "Then you're in for a surprise," Dad replied. "My father had a large stake in a diamond mine. That's why he lived in South Africa." Mom was really surprised. Just then, an older lawyer walked in. He started reading my grandpa's will. My grandpa had left half of his fortune to my dad and the other half to me. But since I was too young, I couldn't get my inheritance yet. I'd have $30,000 transferred to my account on the first day of every month. I would receive my entire inheritance of $22 million as soon as I hit 18. My mom almost fainted when she heard about the money. She leaned towards me and whispered, "Oh my God, we are rich, sweetheart." Sweetheart? So now she starts calling me pet names after hearing about my inheritance? But she was in for another surprise. The lawyer continued reading the will. "I haven't forgiven my ex-daughter-in-law. I don't want her to benefit from my fortune in any way. If Kirsten gives her mom even a penny, both her monthly allowance and the inheritance amounting to $22 million will be cut off." My mom restrained herself even though she was furious. "I will benefit from that money forever and you can't stop me," she mumbled. When we got back home, my mom was a different person. She used to call me only by my name. Now she was calling me honey, baby, and lovey. She came by my room all the time. Every time she did, she would bring me something. "Honey, I made you a milkshake." "Lovey, I thought you'd like a nice sandwich now." She would only do this kind of thing to Sean before. I thought I had just become Mom's favorite. What would Sean do when he realized this? That night, when Mom saw me with my usual trash bag in my hand, she stopped me and called my brother. With the softest voice, she said, "Baby, from now on, Sean will take out the trash." "What do you say?" handing the bag to Sean. Sean didn't know about the will. He had no idea why Mom had a change of heart. He just stared at her. "What are you looking at? Take out the trash now. This is your job from now on," she yelled. Even though he couldn't figure out what was going on, Sean ran outside. Over the next few days, Sean found out that he wasn't the little prince in our castle anymore. He was now doing all the things that I used to do. It was finally the first day of the month and I got $30,000 in my bank account. Mom looked very happy. Honey, do you want to go shopping tomorrow? You're rich now, so you can buy anything you want, she said. Mom took me to the Louis Vuitton store first. This brand makes wonderful bags. Let's get you some, she said. Mom, these are not right for my age and they're beyond expensive. You have to be stupid to pay this much money for a handbag, I replied. But of course my mom didn't listen to me. She bought 3 Louis Vuitton bags. Because of Grandpa's rules, she couldn't shop for herself. We had bought the handbags for me, but she was going to be the one who used them. Our second stop was Chanel. My mom got a dozen expensive dresses. Every time she would come out of the fitting room, she would look at herself in the mirror and say, "Sweetie, this will look so good on you. Let's get this one too." It was so obvious that she was shopping for herself, but she was outright lying. That day we went in and out of a lot of luxury stores. It's hard to believe, but we ended up spending around $25,000. Handbags, jewelry, dresses, perfumes. We came back home with so many shopping bags. When my brother opened the door, he stared at the bags in wonder. Apparently, Mom never said anything to him about the inheritance. He was still trying to figure out what had happened. Mom said, "Stop staring and carry these inside. Then make me a coffee. You washed the dishes, right? Don't forget to load up the washer." Sean took all the shopping bags to my mom's bedroom. At that moment, I realized that none of the things we bought were for me. Yes, we spent $25,000 and bought nothing for me. But if you ask my mom, it was all mine. That week, my mom spent the rest of the money. She went to luxury restaurants and ate expensive food. I couldn't eat anything because that sort of food doesn't agree with me. Mom ended up spending thousands of dollars on these weird-looking dishes. When she ran out of money, my mom started dreaming about next month's money. She would come to my room to hug me and say things like, "Honey, we'll get you a wonderful Rolex watch." Or, "Lovey, we'll get you a beautiful necklace from Tiffany." We both knew that she was buying those for herself, not me. The first day of the following month, Mom woke me up really early. "Honey, could you check your account and see if the money came in?" she asked. I checked the bank's mobile app. I only had $5 in my account. Mom was upset, but she still said, "Let's wait a little, baby. I'm sure it'll arrive soon," giving me a kiss on the cheek. That day, I did not get the $30,000 I was supposed to receive every month. When I didn't get it the next day either, Mom wanted me to call the lawyer. I called the lawyer with my mom. He asked me to put him on speaker so my mom could hear him as well. "Kirsten, I have bad news for you. As you know, your grandpa didn't want your mom to benefit from your inheritance. If that condition was not met, you would be cut off. Your grandpa asked me to hire a private eye. He followed you last month and observed that you bought many things for your mom." My mom jumped in. "You're mistaken. We got those for Kirsten, not for me," she said, trying to play it down. The lawyer replied, "We have the information from the stores you shopped from. We determined that all the garments you bought were your size. You apparently got them for yourself. Because you broke the rules, your daughter is not going to be able to receive her inheritance. The entire sum will be donated to a non-profit organization." When the lawyer hung up, my mom looked really sad. "Don't be sad, Mommy. At least you had a month of carefree spending," I said to console her. She growled, "Shut up! I made the mistake of trusting you. I let myself get hopeful. Now I'm disappointed. It's all because of you," and shut the door behind her as she left. I knew my mom loved me because of my money, but I was still very sad. I started crying. Just then, the doorbell rang. My mom said, "Kirsten, get the door, then take the trash out." When I opened the door, I couldn't help but scream. Mom ran to the door, wondering what was going on. My grandpa was standing in front of me. "Don't be scared, my child. I'm not a ghost. We devised a little game to show your mom's true colors. When you got the money, she started loving you more, right? That was exactly what I expected her to do. She didn't disappoint me," he said. When she heard this, Mom started crying silently. She was too ashamed to look me in the eyes. She knew she'd made a mistake, but it was too late. Grandpa said, "My sweet girl, get your stuff. Come with me to South Africa for a while. Let's give your mom some time to think about what she's done. Maybe she'll come around." It's been 4 months since that day. She called me for the first time last month. She apologized so many times and really looks like she meant it. but I'm still not sure if I should trust her. She wants to visit. Should I let her come? Please write in the comments. Bye now!